So how can you do this problem in 30 seconds or less? A community center has 30 member exercise groups. The director recorded the ages of each group's members in the box plot. Which statement about the two groups can be verified based on the box plot? So A, both groups have at least one member who is exactly 29 years old. Right here, that's false. B, group P has more members who are at least 17 years old. So it's right there. Then group Q. And the answer is B. How was I able to do this problem so fast? So unfortunately, in this problem, there is no way to just solving it. You have to go through every single multiple choice, and the earliest multiple choice that matches is essentially the definer for how fast you would do this problem. So let's do first of all, the overview of what box plot is. So this is the minimum. So this value actually happened, right? So this minimum. Now this is the maximum. So this value actually took place. Now this one is a median. We don't know if this value is real or not, because the median could either be the number or it could be the average of two numbers. If it's the average of two numbers, then in that case, we do not necessarily know whether the median is right or wrong. Now this is the quartile 1, and this is the quartile 3. So what that means is, it means that we have 25% of all the data points here, 25% of all the data points here, 25% of all the data points here, and finally 25% of data points there. So that's what this is, right? So now let me erase it and let me go point by point, A, B, C, D, and see which answer could potentially be correct. All right, so let's start with A. Both groups have at least one member who is exactly 29 years old. So the 29, right? So if this is 30 right there, this would be 29. So on the 29, if we are to draw like a line like this, dashed line, what we're going to see is, we see that this point really took place. So this maximum point for group Q really took place. But there's no indication that we have a point for group P. But point A says both groups have at least one member who is exactly 29. We don't know that for group P, thus A is incorrect. Let me now erase it, not to make it messy. Okay. Now, what about option B? So option B, let me also change the color scheme here. So option B, group P has more members who are at least 17 years old than group Q. So 17 is right there, right here. This is 17. So if we are also to draw the dashed line, something quite interesting is gonna happen. So first of all, for group P, like, right, all the points are 17 or above. So at least 17 years old, 17 or above. So for group P, we have 100% of members, or 100% of students in this case, right, or whatever, community members, whoever, that are included in the range of 17 or above. Now for group Q, we know for a fact that, remember, this is this is the minimum, and this is the Q1. Therefore, this range right there is 25%. We know that for a fact from the box plots. Therefore, this range here, above 17 years old, is 75%. So group P does have more members who are at least 17 years old than group Q. Hence, the answer is B. But let's go through the rest of the options as well. So we got lucky here, right? So we just kind of went point by point. Luckily, the right option is B, not D, right? Because that would have taken us a lot more time. Now let's go with option C. Let me change the color as well. So option C. Both groups have an equal number of members who are between 21 and 24. All right, so 21 stands here. That's 21. 24 is here. Unfortunately, there's no way for us to really find out, right? Because 21 for group Q stands right at the median, and then 24 is here, and we don't know how much. Like, we do not know this area. We do not know this range. Like we can visually see it, but we don't know exactly how many percent of the respondents really in this group. Same thing could be said for group P, right? So this is the 24, which is also a median. And then we're going to go for 21, right? So it seems like, oh, the areas are the same. So hence it has to be the same quantity of people in between these two numbers, 21, 24. Not necessarily. The point is not necessarily. Now, of course, if it was extended to the Q1, like for example, if we spoke about say the median and the Q1, like for example, we talk about that range and say this range, yes, these ranges would be identical, 25%, because we know that between median and the Q3. So therefore, let's go back. C is a wrong answer. And finally, D, let me just erase everything. Finally, D, what does it say? It says, let me change the color to, I guess, green. So Group Q has fewer members who are between 19 and 27 old than Group P. So between 19, so where's 19? 19 is right there. This is 19. And 27 right there. So this is perfect for Group P, right? So it's right in between the two quartiles. So this is Q1 quartile, this is Q3 quartile. So then, hence we know for Group P in particular, we know for a fact that this range here is 50% of all the respondents. We know that for a fact. But for Group Q, we don't know. So in fact, we actually do know, right? So like this range here is for sure 50%. On top of that, we also have this piece here and that piece here. So therefore, for Group Q, which is the bottom box plot, we actually have greater than 50% of all the respondents, while for Group P, we have exactly 50% of respondents. Hence, D is definitely incorrect. Hence, the answer is B. That's it.